Watch Challenges for Caterers, a talk show with Shalim Hussain MBE.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to our final segment of Challenges for Caterers. We've talked about the training, but training involves in everything we do. As soon as we say training, I used to think that it's chef training. We need to train more chefs to go into the kitchen to cook, but that's not it. Training involves in everything you do. So we need training for marketing. So we need to do the marketing to bring the customers in. So we need to get ourselves trained for that. Just by distributing menus is not going to work. Today it's online, it's offline. So we need to get ourselves trained to do that. And when you do the marketing and bring the customers in, how do we greet the customers? How do we start with? That's the first thing they see when they come in. Do they look for somebody? What do you say? We need training for that. And then delivery of food, when we take our orders, and how do we deliver the foods? And then most importantly, when the food comes, presentation. I mean, is it still coming on the silver dishes? How do we present our food? If you go to a really good Michelin star restaurant of any sorts, usually they bring it in a big bowl. You lift it up, it's about 2 pieces of chicken. It costs £25, but it's presented very, very well. Probably cost them about 50 pence to make. I think in our industry, we lack in presenting our food in a proper way. And that's something I would like to talk about. And then taste, the quality, and consistency in taste. So if a chicken jalfrezi tasted similar today, it needs to be tasted same tomorrow. So the consistency needs to come in. Hence the ingredients that we use, they need to be measured. I mean, I've seen in kitchens in our industry, the chefs are putting the chicken in and they're just touching the big spoon in all these spices and that's it. And that's not the way. We cannot compete ourselves in the wider industry if we carry on doing cooking like this. Today we have professional Indian chefs are now coming in to this industry. We the Bengalis, the Bangladeshis who built this industry, okay, made the UK consumer love the curry. Okay, it is done by the Bangladeshis, not anybody else. But today, fully qualified chefs with degrees coming. I'm opening a mega kitchen in Cumbrian, and I'm looking for chefs, and I got CVs for chefs. And last night I was going through about 6 or 7 CVs for chefs with degrees in food science. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the competition. So I'm trying to open a mega kitchen, and I'm going through CVs of chefs who got degrees in food sciences, and they worked in big hotels. So this is the competition, and if we do not bring ourselves up, and if we do not improve ourselves and go to the next level, we will not be able to compete. Now the biggest and most successful restaurants are opening in Cardiff, in Bristol, are owned by Indians, not Bangladeshis. And we build this industry. So let's get ourselves trained on everything, on marketing, on presentation, on greeting the customers, on quality of food, on the ingredients and delivery. And recently, everybody's seen the new trend where people talk about healthier foods. So why are we not mentioning about the calories in our foods? Are we afraid? Are we scared? People know that fish and chips and fried chicken is hugely in fat and huge calories, but they still go out and eat them. But we are not mentioning calories on our food, on our menus. So even the healthier dishes that we have on our menus, like our chicken tikka, all our tandoori dishes, are very, very healthy, but we're not mentioning it. Why not? So let's mention the calories in our food, and let's take our industry up to the next level. Let's train ourselves on everything there is need to be done to bring our industry up. It's very important, especially for me, that this industry thrives, and that's why I'm taking the time out to doing these shows to alert all our customers, all our customers and our brothers and sisters to train ourselves to bring it to the next level. So Jamal Bhai, again, this is our last segment. What would you like to say to our viewers about training of everything I mentioned today? Marketing, service, how to greet our customers, delivery of the food, presentation, quality, and healthy options and calories, and allergens, of course.
Thank you, Shalim bhai. So obviously, the first thing is they need to have more awareness. They need to know the job that's giving them bread and butter. For example, curry is our industry, our backbone. So to keep this backbone upright, they need to be trained. For example, you said about the training. Of course, they need to be trained about health and safety, first aid, fire safety, manual handling and moving, if they need to manually handle things.
We were talking when we were off air that fire safety, they need to do dummy test every week and have a record of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So is everybody doing that? Are you all doing fire safety test and keeping a record? We've also heard, I'm not going to mention any names, apparently the smoke detectors, batteries are being taken out by the staff who smoke upstairs, because if they smoke, the smoke detector goes off, so they take the alarm and the owners don't know. So as an owner, are you checking the smoke detectors that your staff haven't taken the batteries out of the smoke detectors? That's very important. And what about the sockets? Today we have a mobile, we have an iPhone, we have this charger, that charger. Recently Pasha Bhai is telling me that a restaurant caught fire because they had 10 adapters going into one socket, and that caught fire and the restaurant burnt out. So as the owner of the restaurant, are you checking all this? So Jamal Bhai, sorry to disturb you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's what I'm saying, Salim Bhai, as you said that. So because for the training, and other thing you told about the temperature, because our chef need to know that what is the cooking temperature, what is the freeze temperature, and you mentioned earlier about the delivery van, and it is the responsibility of the food handler, supervisor to check. For example, the legal requirement for the frozen food, if the temperature goes above -15, although legal requirement is 80, so up to 15 they can receive the delivery, and if they see it is -10, if they do not know when, if for example, if you company, for an example, deliver food.
Very important, I'd like to bring this up because I'm directly affected by this. We have refrigerated vehicles, it goes to -18. So Jamal Bhai is saying that up to 15, up to -15 you're allowed to keep. So if it goes to -14, you're not allowed to keep. You're to reject this good back to the supplier. So even if it's my company and we're delivering goods to you, if it's not up to -15, you are to reject. So make sure your staff checks this. Make sure that your staff has a thermometer to check the temperature of the food, okay? And make sure the supplier that you are buying from, even if it's me or any other company, that the deliveries they're giving are in refrigerated temperature controlled vehicle. Otherwise do not accept, because you are the one who will end up in jail if you do. So Jamal Bhai, please.
Yeah, and also about the reheating. For example, you deliver frozen food, with our caterers receive frozen chicken, frozen meat, or sometimes pre-cooked food. So
like
we
frozen samosas.
Yeah, frozen samosas. So they need to read the manufacturer's instruction, how long it has to be reheated. For an example, same thing for England and Wales. For example, cooking temperature 75 degrees Celsius or above. So same thing for reheating.
Temperature is 75 degrees Celsius
or above.
Another point. So if anybody doesn't know, I didn't know, the cooking temperature is 75 degrees Celsius or above. That's when it cooks. Below that it doesn't cook. So if you're cooking anything, make sure the temperature is 75 degrees or above.
And other thing, for example, when we deliver, provide food for hot holding like buffet, buffet serving. So at this stage, we have to keep the temperature above the danger zone, which is 63 degrees Celsius or above.
So if I've got a buffet and eat as much as you like.
Yeah.
So sometimes I went to those buffets and sometimes there's no fire underneath.
Well, this is illegal, Salim Bhai.
That's illegal.
Yes, of course. You can't keep high risk food.
I need to make this point again, because I've eaten to a lot of these restaurants and I go to these places and there's no fire underneath or anything to keep it hot. You warm it up and you
one
serve.
thing, let me double check with you. So like you can keep hot food, ready to eat food, maximum 2 hours at room temperature. But if it is for 7 or 8 hours, it has to be above 63 degrees.
Yeah. That if it's cooked, 2 hours is fine. Above 2 hours is not fine.
You can keep for 2 hours, not a problem. But it is for serving for all day for 6-7 hours. It has to be above 63 degrees Celsius.
63 degrees Celsius. So buffet 63 if you're serving for more than 2 hours, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Pasha Bhai, what would you like to say to your members and your viewers?
No, I just wanted to say, Salim Bhai, that look, you're saying that we need to check this, we need to check that. First of all, we need to know what we are checking.
Yeah, exactly.
So first of all, we need to train those people who is responsible. At least one person in one outlet, manager or owner, got to be.
But legally, you said everybody needs to be trained. Eric was saying
the manager
not
can train.
everybody, not everybody. I mean, depends on, responsibility is split. Okay. It depends on. But at least if the manager knows what he's doing, the governor knows what he's doing, then he can tell. And you don't have to call always a trainer for training. You can yourself can train people.
Exactly.
And like what you're saying, are we scared about telling people about our
calories
levels? Ingredients is shortly imposing in this country. There is already.
It's already imposed December 2014.
Yeah, so it's coming to you. But the thing is, like, people don't mind to eat fat foods if they're tasty. But
yes, look at me.
Yeah.
I
So my job, and I'm not scared because in my menu I've got everything. I've got healthy food, I've got tasty calorie food, I've got vegetables, and Curry House menu is a very rich menu, full of everything.
Yeah, it's got a variety of
varieties of everything. So why you should be scared about it?
I think we're not highlighting the healthy
We're not
options.
exposing it. I was going to say that let's expose ourselves what we got to offer
and
people.
highlight the healthy,
Highlight
options. So Eric, as a professional running a professional business, your expert opinion of what we talked about so far.
I think indeed the training is key. It's key of indeed for any business which you start. The same as me in a hotel, or indeed a restaurant or a takeaway. You have to make sure that your staff is trained. The owner or manager who's managing it knows what they are doing.
But owner trained is crucial.
Absolutely, because they have to feed that
managing,
information to,
the restaurant.
and that's whoever is managing could be of course an owner who is not in the business itself. Then indeed whoever is managing it, that's to me is completely key to make sure where you're checking on. So because indeed just what you said, if you don't know what you're checking, then there's some frozen stuff coming in, but I don't know what temperature it was. Yeah, that's
What
key
about the fresh
thing.
chicken? What temperature should this fresh chicken come in? There's a lot of restaurants using fresh chicken, fresh meat. What about that temperature?
For the cooking or
no, raw. When the fresh ingredient comes in raw, what about the temperature of the fresh chicken?
Well, for the fresh chicken, so obviously it should be below 5 degrees Celsius because 5 to 63 is the danger zone. So anything
for the bacteria.
For the bacterial multiplication.
So I was just bringing that because we have a factory for fresh chicken, and EHO says our temperature cannot rise above 4.
Yeah.
So that's +4, not -4.
Yeah.
So we have a temperature control room where the processing is happening, and temperature always has to be below +4. Just below +4. So therefore, if you're receiving any fresh deliveries, and a lot of restaurants who are good quality restaurants are receiving fresh deliveries, but they're receiving the delivery in a panel van. It's a white van man. He's picked up the fresh chicken from his butchery.
Another thing is,
and he doesn't have the right temperature.
When the delivery people deliver it, they don't put in the fridge straight away. They leave it for a long time. You know, maybe.
So you mean the restaurant owners,
they
delivered the goods, and it's left there for a long time?
Left long times, and then they frozen it again, then they defrost it. I mustn't say on air, there's a lots of things, we already trained them, but we don't monitor it. You have to monitor it properly, they are doing it or not.
Okay, one thing just quickly before I forget. So Pasha, you just talked about, so a lot of restaurants who receive fresh chicken, then they freeze it.
Let's freeze it,
But they don't have proper equipment to freeze.
No.
Like we have.
They don't know even the bacteria is already start building it there because they left it for an hour.
So if you've got fresh chicken, if you are using fresh chicken, and if you are bringing this chicken in then freezing it, it's better you do not buy fresh chicken. My opinion is that you should, if you're gonna bring fresh chicken and cook it straight away, that's fine. But if you're gonna bring it in and you do not have proper equipment to freeze it, then may as well buy frozen.
Small outlet.
One more thing, Salim Bhai, one information I would like to add with Pasha Bhai, as he mentioned about the when you collect a delivery, like for example, if your company deliver a food to a certain restaurant, so there is a specific time, how long can you, like sometimes we notice when there is a delivery coming in your restaurant, probably chef is busy or kitchen porter is busy, then he might say, because I often hear this, oh, because I'm busy doing things, when my hands are free, then I will transfer this into the freezer. So there is a standard timing. So some company got 15 minutes transfer time, like for example, when you deliver thing to the in front of them, within 15 minutes, so maximum half an hour, minimum 15 minutes. Within this time, if they can transform,
depends on the time of the temperature as well. The summertime or winter time you are doing it.
But best rule, as you say, straight away transfer it.
9 o'clock, food delivery came.
Everybody is asleep.
No, everybody's busy.
Night,
so you should have a policy as well when to
you have to have
deliver.
a managing policy.
Exactly.
You have to have a managing
That's
policy.
The training. So you need to know what time your delivery
That's
coming, when your
Eric
staff members are
says,
available.
that if manager knows, if he responsible, he knows how many delivery coming tomorrow. Who will receive the delivery? He will tell him to. You have to be there to receive the delivery.
I would like to bring a new case. Just this week happened. I just got involved in. I'm going to bring Eurofoods again. We were receiving fresh chicken, and after receiving the fresh chicken, because we did not sell them within the shelf enough, within the space of time, we froze them down on a blast freezer. We have blast freezer which we can freeze 40 ton within 4 hours. Okay, and we frozen them down on that blast freezer. Even that fresh chicken that we frozen within time, we have to freeze so many batches, so many hours, and send them for microbiological testing to make sure the bacteria hasn't grown. And what is the perfect time for freezing? So if we got fresh chicken and we are freezing it, and we have to freeze it at a certain time, and we have to do microbiological testing to prove.
But the outlet hasn't got this facility.
So therefore, my advice, I mean, or is it my advice, or maybe I shouldn't advise, you should advise, because
no, that's fine.
or Eric. So if they're receiving fresh chicken and they do not have blast freezers to freeze within 4 hours, should they be receiving fresh chicken, or should they receive fresh frozen chicken direct from the manufacturer?
We don't allow ourselves within our hotels to basically freeze anything. So basically it has to be fresh product coming in, it's getting used.
So if you receive any fresh product, you use it straight away, you do not freeze.
We don't freeze, it's not allowed in our policy. Or you buy a frozen product, correct.
Very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we see more and more of our customers. I mean, as Eurofoods, we started selling fresh chicken only about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's gone to hundreds of tons every week. Fresh chicken is growing. And are the customers taking this fresh chicken and freezing? For us, fresh is very good because we do not have to keep inventory, it's sold, and for cash flow it's really good for Eurofoods. But is it good for you, the customer? So therefore you need to make sure that if you're buying fresh, you cook it and use it straight away. And if you are not using it and cooking it straight away, you buy frozen from the factory. That's what you're saying, Eric.
Correct, yeah.
So, so it's very, very important that you do that. We only have 1 minute to talk about, so let's sum up. You got 20 seconds to sum up.
Thank you, Mr. Mbai. Thank you very much. So according to the HACCP, Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point, every food business operator or caterer, they should have a food safety management system. So it could be Safer Food Better Business Guide or their own food safety policy. So I would urge everyone to train themselves and to train their staff member, and if they know how to maintain Safer Food Better Business Guide, then they can have a better business.
Pasha bhai, sum up 20 seconds, if you don't mind.
My appeal or my recommendation to my colleagues that industry is suffering from many problems. We can save this industry. To save this industry, training is one of the most important things. Let's do it properly and save this industry.
Excellent. Eric?
Yeah, I can only vouch for that. The training is very important, of being it from indeed how to cook, the legal requirements for cooking, but also running your business, like the marketing, what you said as well. Okay. And if I can quickly come back to a point what you said earlier about someone is selling a curry, Wetherspoon selling a curry maybe cheaper than if there is also pubs, they're basically selling indeed their drinks cheaper than others. There's still people going to the other venues. So it's not always the price what basically makes you come to a place.
Thank you, Eric. My time's up. I'll have to finish. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The challenge for caterers will be back after the Christmas break in January. So there's a long break, and I'm off to Bangladesh. So I'll see you back again in January. Thank you.